Take my lips and speak through them. Take our ears and hear through them. Take our hearts and set them on fire with love for thee. May I speak in the name of the living God. Amen. A little girl was studying a picture book of the Bible, looking at a picture of Jesus feeding the 5,000 in the wilderness. Finally, her mom said, "Dear, that's not the real Jesus. That's a drawing. That's an artist's image of him." The girl looked at it a while longer and said, "It sure looks like him to me." The little girl is right. It sure looks like him to us. The picture of Jesus in Matthew's gospel this morning is indeed a picture of the real Jesus. The Jesus who shares the wilderness with us, who reaches out in mercy to the crowd as they clamor after him in need. The Jesus who meets hurt with healing and hunger with bread, no matter how late the hour, how sparse the provisions, or how lonely and desolate the place. Just before this passage, Jesus discovers that Herod has beheaded his cousin, John the Baptist, and he went looking for a place to pray. Jesus withdrew in a boat to a deserted place by himself across the Sea of Galilee. He wanted to be alone. But the Sea of Galilee is not large. It's about 13 miles north to south, 7 to 8 miles east to west, and they just watched him go and then walked around the lake and met him there. I might have been less than pleased to see them, but not Jesus. When he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them. His bowels turned over. He had a gut-wrenching pity for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, "Look, it's late. This is a deserted place. Send the crowds away. Send them into the villages to buy food for themselves." And Jesus says, "There's no need to send them away. You give them something to eat." And they replied, "We have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish. Did Jesus say, "Oh my gosh, get the car keys. We're going to Shaw's. We'll need all 12 cars and the parish credit card"? No. He said, "You give them something to eat." And they're like, "Who, us, Lord? Did you not hear us? We have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish. And Jesus said, "Bring them here to me. Bring them here to me. Bring me what you have that looks like nothing and see what God can do with it." Jesus took the 5 loaves and the 2 fish from the disciples and held it up before God. Then he blessed, broke, and gave the loaves and fishes to the disciples, and the disciples gave them to the crowds. Thousands were fed, and afterwards they took up 12 baskets of leftovers. This miracle made such an impact, such a deep impression, that it is the only only a miracle to be included in all 4 Gospels, and Matthew has it twice. We call it the feeding of the 5,000, but that only counts the 5,000 men. The text adds, besides women and children, who would have been far more numerous. So something like 15,000 people were fed in what's also known as the multiplication of the loaves and fishes. It was a miracle of inexplicable abundance. How did it happen? Did Jesus cause more bread to appear in the basket as each piece was handed out? A colleague once told a small group of us that such a thing happened to him, and I believed him. Was it some kind of spiritual feeding? After all, it's told in Eucharistic language: took, blessed, broke, gave. Did everyone get a little, but was everyone fed? But then what about all those leftovers? Was it a miracle of men and women as well as of bread and fish? Sure, many people wouldn't have had food with them, having not planned to be out so late, having not expected to run into Jesus and listen to him all day. But surely some people had packed food that they planned to hang on to, so their family got enough, so they didn't run out. Did something happen? When they saw Jesus lift the loaves before God, bless, break, and give them to the disciples in such trust, did they find themselves moved? Were their hearts like the bread? Blessed, taken, blessed, broken. And instead of hoarding what they had, did they share it? Were the people part of this miracle? Whatever happened, however it happened, people were deeply affected by this miracle of abundance. It transformed not only their circumstances, but also themselves. They were abundantly fed, nurtured, and supported when they had no reason to expect it. In fact, I think they probably fretted all day as it grew later and later that their children would be hungry and that they would be scrabbling over scraps in a hungry crowd. And instead, they found themselves not competing over scarcity, but feasting in fellowship. Something miraculous happened, and they were a part of it. And it became the hallmark of his ministry, taking the nothing we have and making it enough and to spare. We have nothing here but 5 loaves and 2 fish. Bring them to me. How often do we think we don't have enough? That we are not enough. We don't have the body, the mind, or the means. In the face of what confronts us, we have nothing here. Bring what you have to me, says Jesus. You may not be enough, but I am enough, and you are not alone. I am with you in all times and in all places with unexpected, multiplying grace. This is a precious gospel to me. As most of you know, my husband and I have 2 wonderful children. One of them is back there. But before they were born, we had a daughter who lived a day. She died from prematurity and complications of pregnancy, and she's buried in the churchyard by my parents. I was not seeking out a deserted place by myself like Jesus was, but I sure found myself there. I was talking on the phone to the wonderful older woman priest, my spiritual director, who had been with us and had baptized Julia. And I was telling her how bereft I felt. I had no baby. I had no job. I had missed my own ordination because I was in the hospital at the time. And frankly, I really wondered if I wanted to be ordained. I mean, who was this God anyway? Instead of Julia, I told her, all I have is this armful of letters. I'd been going through this huge stack of cards and letters that often took our breath away by their just unassuming profundity and love. It shouldn't be enough. I said, nothing could possibly be enough. And yet, somehow it is. These cards, these people, full of God's grace and mercy. And she said, you're right. It isn't enough. And it is. And it came to me. I said, this is Jesus and the loaves and the fishes. It's not enough. Anyone can see it's not enough. And yet somehow God is making it enough. Into that lonely, deserted place, Jesus came, the real Jesus of today's gospel, and I recognized him. Others may have seen only a bag of cards and letters, but like the little girl, it sure looked like him to me. By their expressions of shared sorrow, hope, and love, we found ourselves inexplicably, counterintuitively, abundantly fed. In Tabgha, in Israel, where the multiplication of the loaves and fishes took place, there's a church. The altar stands above a long, low limestone rock, believed to be the place where Jesus took, blessed, and broke the bread. And in front of the altar is a mosaic of a basket, flanked by 2 fish. The basket is filled with 4 loaves of bread. Only 4. Because we bring the 5th loaf. The bread of the Eucharist and the bread of ourselves. So when you find yourselves thinking of someone, when God puts someone or something on your heart, you give them something to eat. Even if you think what you have is nothing. Pick up the phone or the pen or the laptop, write the email, the card, or the text. When compassion comes calling, do not let it pass you by. Don't leave it to somebody else. Jesus is calling you. And maybe the only thing needed for a miracle to happen is you. Amen.